So we're going to talk about creating more efficiency in your business, and this is where we are going to review some of the most common questions we get and some of the features we think will put your efficiency over the top when it comes to utilizing a transaction management tool like Nekst. So we will go back into our property on Demo Island. And one thing that happens, unfortunately, unless it's you're moving the closing up, is that closing dates do change. And we built some very cool features in here to accommodate that exact situation. So we're going to go into our details page. Okay, and we had launched this action plan, our buyer financing closing plan, and all of our tasks were built around an end date of 6/28/2024 when it came to certain closing date related tasks. So, for example, we have down here do our final walkthrough on June 27th and our closing dates on June 28th. We will actually shift that back a week. So let's say that closing got delayed, 7 days. So we're going to go ahead and just change that date there. We're going to click on update and we're going to get this prompt that says, here's everything that you had based on that end date. And these are, requesting repair receipts, confirm the clear to close, do the final walkthrough. So everything that typically happens there at the end, even some of the post-closing follow-up, it says, do you want us to adjust all these dates? So instead of you having to manually shift every single date, you just change it there and say, sure, go ahead and adjust it. I just refresh this page. All of our dates will have shifted back a week. So now our clear to close is due on the 1st, our final walkthrough is on the 4th, and our closing date is on the 5th, right? So that's extremely powerful. The same thing works. Let's say that we accidentally got our start date wrong. Oh, we thought we were under contract on the 31st. Technically, it was all signed on the 30th. So we can do the same thing here. We click on update. It'll say, here's all the tasks that were built around that. Do you want us to adjust them? So all of your inspection deadlines will update, and we will go from having, for example, a June 14th inspection deadline change to a June 13th inspection deadline change. And by updating it there and updating these boxes, the cool thing is when we go back to our tasks, we don't have to redo all of our emails. We can come in here, here's our key dates and details, and we're using these smart tags. So it pulls from that box and we click on the preview button. We will have the inspection period as 6/13/2024. So that's why we do it. It's the crazy method to the madness. This is a great slide that sums up exactly how our automation works when it comes to emails. So we talked about in the first video that we can create custom detail boxes. So any detail that you want to track, you can track from the setup page. From there, we go to our task and we can choose, whether we want a certain task to be linked to a detail box. So it automatically inserts that date. On our task page, we can see those dates populate down here. Next, we can create our emails where we can put in our actual tags. So if we want to put in the contract date being the pending date, we just start typing the word pending and it'll be an option to pick. And then those smart tags can automatically be inserted into our email. All right, so that's one very cool feature that we offer. The other one is what happens when you move from a listing process with a whole bunch of tasks to now that you're pending or back. Well, that's also easy. So what we would do is go back here into our details section, and let's say that we're going back to a listing. Okay, we're saying, hey, we're modifying the listing type. This is going to remove all the information in our detail boxes, which we're okay with. It's going to happen. All the details, they don't matter anymore. We're back to active. And then here we're going to pick our step-by-step action plan. We will go ahead and take our dates back to the original date. So this was a 5/23, and the listing, let's say, was going to expire on 6-month listing. So 11/23. Again, I'm just making dates up. And then we would go back through this process. So we have our 4 steps. We can edit anything that we feel needs edited, and we will launch the transaction. And basically what we get is this message that says, tasks, these new tasks about listing the home are going to be applied to the transaction. What should we do with all the old tasks? And we can either remove them or leave them as is. So we'll go ahead and remove them. And we'll see that we're back to some of those initial tasks that we didn't get completed originally, like scheduling the photographer or the floor plan, or doing everything else that is potentially past due. When we go back in here into our details button, we're just tracking some of the few kind of minor deadlines. All of our notes are still there. And then again, if we bounce back to pending, we just go through the same process. We choose our action plan, and update our dates, go through the process, and it's very simple to jump back and forth between a listing and a pending. Let's also take a look at documents. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just for the sake of it, get back to a pending deal since it's a little bit more straightforward. We are back to our tasks related to our pending buyer situation. And within here, you can also add documents. So the way that we handle documents is a little bit different. We don't actually have attachments that we put onto emails. We basically allow you to upload documents, which then become a link, and then that link can be shared over email or text message. And anyone that clicks that link can either download the document or preview it in their browser. So when we go to our setup page, there is some additional customization available to you when it comes to documents. So if I click on document labels, basically every document has a name, okay? And as you know, names are always, or files always have different names tied to them. So by assigning them a label, it makes it easier for us to create email tasks that have a label already included, which will then pull in that link. But it just helps you stay organized. So anytime you create a label or you upload a document and you label it, it will show up here. We also have templates. So templates consist of labels. So for example, our purchase financing transaction, I can come in here and I can remove and I can add labels if I want. Maybe I'll call this, buyer consent agreement, whatever that is. But this is a template that contains labels that we can apply to our property, and then each label can have a document associated with it. So let's go back in here, and we are going to add a document template and then add some documents as well. All right, so we'll go to Demo Island. And we're going to go into our documents section, and you can see there's some documents that are preloaded, which we had set up previously. We're also going to apply a template to this one. So because this is a pending deal, we're going to add our pending financing transaction template. And in doing so, we have all of these labels. And then when we have a purchase contract, we'll click on the little cloud. We will choose the file. We will upload it. And we will click on submit. And now we can start loading these documents in here. Once we start adding our documents in and we go back into our tasks, we can also create an email task. It says, hi, first name, here is the purchase contract. Okay, and then we can just start typing purchase, right? And this will take that document and insert it automatically. So by doing it this way, you can create templates that have these smart tags stored. And then we click on, let's see, contract and today's date. And I'm the recipient, so we'll finish that out. So when I click on this here and I preview it, now I have a link to that document. And whoever the recipient is, and this will show up as a hyperlink when it gets emailed out. It just doesn't on here, but whenever someone clicks on that link, they'll have the option to either preview the document, okay, or they can download it as well if they want to do that. All right, so super handy, makes it very easy to send to lenders or certain title companies that don't like receiving attachments. So super handy way to manage documents and share them with anyone on the transaction.